Wonderful. Okay. Good evening, Georgia. Are we in Atlanta? We drove so long from my hotel. I'm like, what state are we in now? Is this Tennessee? Oh, wow. How are we doing tonight? How many of y'all came here just so you can get out of the house? Raise your hand. I'm sick and tired of being in front of that Zoom television, right? I just need to get out, right? Raise your hands if you're here for the very first time. Let me see you. Wow. Let's give all This is absolutely awesome. I am on tour so that I can get out of the house. So it is okay if you guys just came here just because you're like, we just get out of the house. I'm sitting on this couch over here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've been having a really good time. You know, I was in Florida. Where was I yesterday?
Yeah, Miami.
Miami yesterday. We had back-to-back meetings because it was so, you know, it was, we just, you know, had to be respectful. And they didn't want to give us like this huge room, so we did a 6 o'clock meeting, and then we did an 8 o'clock meeting, then I did a meeting after. How many of y'all know about those?
Yeah. That's the best one.
We finished until like midnight last night, and I said, oh, you know, that's there. Over here, we'll finish around 11:30. I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding, right? Anyway, guys, it is great to be back over here. It's, I was telling the group last night, it's different now being in front of a room. Because, you know, when you stand in front of a room now, you got like, you know, 25 cameras staring at you. So it's like people go, how many of y'all take your cameras to concerts as well, right? You watch the concert and you film the concert at the same time. And so it's a little bit different now. But it's also different, you know, these days with some of the stuff that we've been dealing with right now. And so I want to be very respectful. And first of all, to each and every one of you, I appreciate you guys coming out tonight and you know and trusting that the environment is going to be safe for you. Tonight, you know what I'm going to keep it brief tonight, but I'm going to be very thorough. Is that good with you guys? Yeah. I'll be brief, but I'll be very thorough. We've got some really exciting stuff that's going on in our business, and I don't know how many of our leaders that you heard from, but I know Daniel just introduced me, and incredible young man. Give him a round of applause. I heard in the back saying he was 19 when we first met, and I haven't thought about that. 19 at that time. Well, how many of y'all would like to be 19? I'm 19, right? Maybe 20, but not 19. 20's okay, right? You know. But anyway, it is. It's really good to be here. Trey was asking me as he picked me up, and he says, "Man, how do you get to Atlanta, to the airport?" And it's not enough. I think I get to maybe 3 times a year, maybe stick in the 4th one. But you know, this place is growing. I mean, it's really growing. I keep saying construction everywhere. Weather was absolutely perfect today. This is a perfect day, really, to be able to come out. It really was a perfect day to be able to come out. And so, how many of y'all want to know how to make some money? Let's get on to it.
Yay!
I'm going to ask y'all about the weather. I'm the money guy. All right, I'm going to be the money guy tonight. I'm the guy who's going to come and show you how to make some money. Did we ever find a board diesel? We didn't get one. Okay.
It's on the way.
It's on the way. Okay, good. Yeah, because I got something pretty cool that I may be able to show you guys at the end. And well, tell you what. Let me get a couple things in agreement before we even get started. Okay. And being that I'm the money guy, I'm gonna show you how to make some money tonight. How many of y'all want to learn how to make a little bit of money? Okay, now can't raise your hand twice. How many of y'all want to make a lot of money? Sunday I said you can't raise your hand twice. I saw you. Okay, I saw you, right? All right. So which group should I talk to first?
The second group.
Second group. All right, I'll talk to the second group first, and when I've reached the max for the first group, you can shut your ears off. All right?
¿A qué grupo le habla? ¿Que quiere ganar poquito o que quiere ganar bastante?
Making that much more,
Yo lo que al
just shut
segundo.
your ears off, all right? But I know some of our guests who are here today, you're probably wondering, are these people crazy, right? Because we get excited. I know they probably had music playing earlier today, and everybody all fired up and clapping and screaming and stuff like that. And it's because most people here are really excited about their future, excited about life. Yeah. And it's kind of like, when you go to a ball game, right? How many of you have ever been to a ball game? You jump up and you shout, paint your face to watch some other people get paid. Right? You leave with the bill. All right, we leave with the bill, they leave with the riches, right? And so we just do it a little bit differently. And so tonight, I'm going to talk to you about some things that may sound different to you. If you're here for the first time, it may sound a little different. It may not go with the normal flow of what you're used to. And that's probably why you even decided to come here. But one of the things that I do understand is that most people do want something different. They just don't want to do anything to get it. Right? Most people want something different, but we really don't want to do anything to get that difference. And so I want to share with you something, and this is why I never sell this business. I didn't come here to convince you. I'm not the guy. So if you're sitting there saying, okay, well, you know what, I'm a hard sell. Well, that's fine. You can be a hard sell. I don't convince people. I'm not the guy who's going to come here and tell you why you need to do this or whatever it is. And I tell people this because if I got to convince you to live the lifestyle that I live and the lifestyle that I've helped people live, and if I've got to convince you to do it, you're already the wrong person. You're disqualified. And I don't say that disrespectfully. I say it from a perspective of if what your situation is right now doesn't really motivate you, there's nothing in the world that I can do. My job, you know what my job is tonight? My job is just to deliver the message. Okay. That's it. I'm going to deliver the message and to deliver what I call a conscious interruption. Come on now. That's it. You know what a conscious interrupt is?
Yes.
Okay. When I went to college for a while. It seemed like a long time. Everybody went to college? Yeah, that's right. George, y'all some educated folk up here. I go back, like when I go home tomorrow, I tell people I went to college, they jump up and down. I tell them, you went to college? Yeah. I actually broke 2 records. I was the first person in my family to go to college. I'm going to clap for that. Y'all like, so what? You know the second record I broke? I was the first person in my family to drop out of college. Wow, y'all tough up here, man. Y'all are real tough over here. And but here's the thing here, okay? My job is to give you a conscious interruption. I did learn a few things in college. One of the things I learned, I went to school for engineering. And I had no idea what engineers did. I actually went to school to play professional football. I went on a football scholarship. Born in Tampa, Florida, and got a football scholarship. I was, went out to Houston, Texas, and played college football. And my goal was to play professional football. And one of the reasons was, growing up where I grew up, I didn't see a lot of options on how to become rich. I was one of those weird kids that I'm kind of an extremist. So when I want to do something, I go all the way. Anybody like that? You have one of those obsessive attitudes? That's why I couldn't do drugs, because I died first. I'm like, I'll do it all. Just whatever it is, I'm just doing it all. I'm not gonna try it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, he's done. So that's why that's why I never was able to try that stuff. And so I decided when I was pretty young that I wanted to be rich. I never decided I wanted to do well. This is me. I never had a goal of, I want to, live a normal, above average life. I just didn't understand that. And I wanted to be rich. Well, I grew up poor, and the only way that I knew to become rich was I was pretty good at playing football. I was a very good athlete. And so playing professional football was one. Number 2, I could have become an entertainer. Number 3, I could have become an attorney. And number 4, I could have become a doctor. And that's when I thought attorneys and doctors were rich. Okay? And so those were my 4 options. And I'm not putting the doctors and attorneys down. I'm just saying that that's all that I knew. And so I had 4 separate options on how to get rich. Now, I didn't understand anything about being a big business guy because I didn't know any, I didn't see any, and you didn't look at business people when I grew up as rich people. You just knew that they were business people, right? And so so those were my 4 options I had. And my mom kind of set me up a little bit. You know, my mom set me up for failure. She didn't try to, but she did. Okay? And how many of y'all have some moms who kind of set you up? Right? And so,
Look at this.
you set me up. You set me up.
She did unconscious.
My mom used to lie to me all the time. You know, and I didn't know she was telling. I didn't know these lies that she was telling. I took it face value. She used to tell me all these lies and give me all these philosophies, and she set me up. And because of the stuff my mom taught me, when I was 25 years old, 26 years old, I was $250,000 in debt. 45 days away from foreclosure, and I just had my car repossessed. I realized missing 2 car payments will put you right back on your feet.
Yes.
Some of y'all get so y'all ain't that fast over here. I got some quick ones for you. Make y'all So this is my goal, right? My mom, she tell me stuff like, you know, son, if you ever want to be rich, you need to go to school so you can get a good education, so you can get a good job, right? Yeah, one of those good government jobs, right? Good government job. That's an oxymoron, right? And so she's telling me stuff like that. And my mom told me stuff like, your mom told you some of the same stuff. Matter of fact, some of y'all can finish my sentence. She used to say stuff like this. Son, on your way to success, make sure you play it safe. Make sure you put some money away for a rainy day. Y'all finishing these sentences? A rainy day, why not put money away for an investment? Can you imagine if that was your vocabulary? Hey, put money away for an investment. No, my mom set me up to have rainy days. She was preparing me mentally on how to deal with not having money. Why? Rainy days are going to come in your life, son. So not a sun-filled, beautiful opportunity. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Watch out for those get-rich-quick schemes. See, to get wealthy in a short period of time, in my mind, just like yours, it must be a scheme. Because your mama set you up to think it's got to be a scheme.
That's right.
Jeff Bezos became a billionaire within 48 hours of his company going public. But nobody calls it a scheme. You know why? Jeff Bezos' mom didn't tell him what your mom told you. Do y'all see that conscious interrupt coming? Yeah. And all it is basically an alteration of your thought process. That conscious interrupt, what I learned in college, and I was there for quite a few years. Okay, like I said, I was there for quite a few years, and when I decided I was going to graduate, I finished. Like, I'm done. I don't have no more to do, right? So I was done. And so, and so while I was there, I learned one formula in engineering, and it was an object in motion will continue in the same motion unless it's interrupted by an outside force or an object, right? Like momentum or inertia. If you put something in motion, so if you see an asteroid, because there's no gravity, it continues in motion. Gravity doesn't interrupt it, so that's why it continues to go. Remember the little game Asteroids? How many of y'all remember those little arcade games? Asteroid, and it will continue in the same motion going across the screen until it hits another asteroid, interrupted by another outside force or object, and then it goes into a different direction. It will continue going. But here's what I learned. I also learned that a thought and a thought process and a paradigm, a thought will continue in the same motion, and you will continue thinking the exact same thing unless interrupted by new information. That's right.
That's right.
And so this is why I didn't come to try to sell you a business. I came really to say, think just a little differently. To give you a different angle.
That's good.
And so here I had 4 options on how to get rich. And when I went to college, and I'm not here to put down anybody's education, really, I'm not. I love, people who want to do what they want to do. But what college did is really, it gave me a bigger opportunity to settle for a lesser life. For me, you know what? I had 4 options on how I was going to achieve my goal. I went to college, and they gave me unlimited goals on how I can be average. Now I can become a school teacher if I wanted to, income-wise. I'm talking about just income-wise. Now I can become an engineer. Now I can become a contractor. Now I can do all of these different things. Whereas before, the only 4 things that I was going to pursue were going to make me rich. When the college says, oh, you don't have to do it. You can do all these different things. And so I got there, and I'll never forget all of my teachers telling me, some of the same things, just like my mom would tell me. My mom used to always tell me, stuff like this. Son, listen, all those rich people, you know where they're going? They're going straight to hell. No, they're going to the mall. That's what they're doing. They're going to the mall. Y'all are some bad moms. I gotta get one of the Georgia moms. So just imagine if your mama say that and your pastor says that, in your mind subconsciously, you resist becoming wealthy. And what happens is you do something that I call mental thermostating. And mental thermostating is a form of self-sabotage, financial self-sabotage. Because it's instinctively, and it's in your subconscious, that you know that if you can achieve this, but your mind has been programmed what's going to happen. You're like, if I take this opportunity and do all I know I really can do, I'm going straight to hell. Why? My mom been telling me that 15 years. So you don't say it verbally, but the signals in your mind make you don't perform at your peak. And what happens is you start living a life of safety. And most of us who are here today, we are living at our safety capacity. We're not living at our performance capacity. Because you've done just enough not to stick your head above water. And you do just enough not to look like you're with them.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
Them that we look down on, regardless of what it is, who they are. And so what we do is we stay right in the middle of the crowd. Well, I didn't like it. I didn't like living that way. 26 years of age, or 25 years of age, $250,000 in debt. See, everything that my mom had taught me, I was 25, I've been on this earth for 25 years. I've amassed $250,000 in consumer debt. That means that the best of what my mom had to offer me in terms of financial education, acquired $10,000 in debt per year that I was alive.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm not here blaming my mom at all. I'm not. My mom did the best she can do. My mom never made more than $1,300 a month, ever in her life. Think she can teach me effectively and give me a strategy to make $1,500 a month?
Right.
Yep.
No.
No, she can't.
No.
I don't. You can't teach anything that you haven't done.
Right.
You can't your authority. You can guess.
That's right.
It's like my professors. They never were engineers. They read about it. They talked about it, and they knew how to teach it. They knew how to teach what was in the book. Put them in a real live situation that required thought process along with the education, and they can't do it. Okay? And this is why I learned that I'll never take financial advice from somebody who don't have the results that I want to have. Okay? And so tonight, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically show you the difference between your reality that you have. I wish I had my board here. But life today is based off of having what I call a reality. Everybody who's in here today, regardless of how great your situation is or whatever, and I'm not saying that anybody's got a bad situation. Some of you are doing extremely well for yourself, which is good. But right now, we live in this circle. I want you to just imagine you got this circle, and it's called your reality circle. That reality circle is the way that you live today. That reality circle are the things that you have, your fears, your doubts, your worries, your pluses, your mind, whatever that is your current reality. Okay? it's also a comfort zone. It's where you are. Now, how did you get there in that reality? How did you get there? Here's the thing. How many of us, by show of hands, thought at this age of where we are, we thought when we were much younger that we'd be much further along and our reality would be a little different than what it really is? Raise your hands. So I'm glad you're being honest. Why? Because, see, you can't change your circumstances if you're not going to be honest with yourself.
That's right.
So there's nothing wrong with being honest and vulnerable about where you are. Oh, even me, I got some goals that I thought that I would have achieved by now that I haven't done. Okay? But that reality, why are we in this reality? Let me share with you why you're in this reality. You're in this reality because every one of you started a corporation. Some of you are like, I didn't know I had a company. Where the money at from that company? I didn't even know I had one, right? Every one of you started a corporation. And here's what you did. Every single one of you also selected and elected a board of advisors. Let me share with you who was on my board of advisors. My mama was the chairman of the board. All $1,300 a month worth of her qualifications. She was my chairman of the board. You know why? I trust my mama. I like my mama. And see, you mistake trust for competence. First mistake right there. I trust my son. Let me see, do I? Let me make sure before I say, no, I do. But if I had a health emergency, on the list of 1 to 1,000, where would the call be to him? Not even in 1,000, right? I trust him, but he's not competent right now. He's just not. So I want you to understand the difference, qualifying. So my mom was my chairman of the board, and then I had on there I had my pastor, who was on mine, and I grew up in this little small churches. We didn't have no mega churches, and so my pastor used to say things like, "Listen, you need to be content with what God gave you. God's willing, you'll have it." And I'm not here being religious, but I want to let you know, a lot of religion keep people broke. Right? Because my mom used to tell me, you know what, son, you want more money? You need to pray for it. Now, hold on for a second. I didn't know he was throwing $100 bills up out of the sky making it rain. I know he made it rain, but not like that, right? Now I know I'm ruffling some feathers with some of our religious ones here. Oh no, he talking. No, I'm just being honest. I'm being real honest with you. Money doesn't come by praying.
That's right.
No, it does not. If that was the case, I should be able to hit my knees right now. Right? Pray for everybody in here. Meeting's over. I don't have to do this presentation right here. It doesn't. Money comes. Here's when money comes. I'm just giving. Remember, conscious interrupt.
Right.
Money comes when you exchange something of value to somebody who can appreciate the value of it. Because if they appreciate the value of it, they will exchange their hard-earned money for that value, and now you get a profit and they get the value. That's the only way that money comes, how you can increase your income. It's the only way. All this other stuff, no, you just got to hope and pray and all that stuff. Oh, that's a horrible business strategy. It just doesn't work that way. And so my pastor was on my board of advisors. You need to be content. I know you're out there, you got some big goals, man, but you're gonna ruin your health trying to get rich. Anybody ever seen somebody's health get ruined? My mom used to tell me, son, even when and I'll give you a qualification here. So what happened was, I actually went from where I was, and then I did become rich. At 26 years of age, when I decided I was going to follow principles on how to make money, I was able to retire. Okay, and I'll tell you that story shortly here. So, and I became a millionaire at 28, multi-millionaire at 30. And my mom, I'll never forget, I was 35 years old. I had made so many millions. My mom used to tell me stuff like, baby. You know when they say that, right? They're going to give you some of that old wisdom, right? Baby. I know you got money now, but you need to go back to school and get your education. You know why? Because that's something nobody can ever take from you. Now let me ask you a question. We live in Atlanta right here. It's around Atlanta. Anybody ever tried to kick your door in and steal your diploma? Let me raise your hand if anybody ever kicked your door in with a mask on and just let me get all these diplomas out here. Anybody ever been jacked for, you know, for
No,
your
el último lo
degree?
escuché.
If
Lo que
you're a
dice que
doctor,
la mamá le
PhD,
dice,
anybody ever held yourself?
baby, voy a terminar la escuela, consigue ese
I just
diploma
want to know,
porque
because I'm just saying, this is what my mom used to tell me. That's
eso
something
nadie te
nobody
lo puede
can
robar.
take from you. I'm like, Mom, who want to take
A
it?
quien ustedes le robaron los
But it
diplomas.
was just that old wisdom. It was because she heard her grandparents and her mom say it as well. So she passed it on to me. Then I had people on there, you know, anybody ever had an Uncle Willie? I don't even have to say anything. And when I say his name is Uncle Willie, you already know, right? Uncle Willie was a guy who was everything. He was on my board of advisors as well. I had a couple of my friends on my board of advisors as well. You know, I had a couple of my college professors on my board of advisors. And so all of these people were leading my company. My company was called You Incorporated. And that's the name of yours. Because those are the people who guided your life. Let me share something with you. I know I make it sound a little funny, but I can tell you right now, everybody in here, from all of you in the back, even the ones standing up, I can sit with you for 5 minutes and I can guess how much money you make and never ask you how much you make or what you do for a living. If you want to, you can try me. I do it all the time.
Wow.
I won't even look. It has nothing to do with what your clothes look like, because that's the worst indicator. Everybody lie these days. Everybody wearing Instagram. I'm wearing my posters. I know how that works. All I do is I sit with you for a moment.
That's it.
I get your board of advisors. How do I find your board of advisors? I take your cell phone. And we can do your calling record. I say, who are the 5 people you call the most outside of your immediate family, like your wife or your kids or whatever it is? I find out what they do, how much money they make. I add it up, divide by 5, and that's what your income is.
Wow.
Think about it. Start doing it. Promise you. Why? Because millionaires don't talk to broke people often.
Millonarios no hablan de qué, de lo que
No, los millonarios no hablan con gente quebrada a menudo.
Now, you gotta remember,
Muy
I'm
seguido, muy
not
seguido.
here as your pastor, and I'm not here as an elected official, and I can't get fired, so I just speak the truth. I know it may hurt sometimes, but I'm gonna give it to you real.
Yo no soy tu pastor, estoy corriendo para una posición política. Y puedo decirte lo que yo quiera. Nadie me puede correr.
Don't want to work to get it, which means that they don't want to be put in a position where they're uncomfortable.
Parece que la mayoría de la gente quiere cosas, pero no quiere trabajar para conseguirlas. No quieren ponerse en posiciones incómodas.
Well, just think about it. Y'all turn this meeting out already. I gotta separate those two, right? Now, is it because millionaires think they're better than others? No. My mom and I, she'll tell you, we have a 7-minute phone limit.
Tiene que con la mamá, tiene un límite.
7 minutos.
Yes, my mom. 7 minutes. I love her. Yeah, I love her. I can tell her I love her a lot in 7 minutes. But I already know, minute number 8, I'm going to find out about who died.
Tú sabes, ¿no?
Okay?
Minuto número 8 le va a empezar a decir que se murió, cuántos huesos le duele, lo que le dice el doctor.
You know, I'm going to find out all about that. And I don't want that in my mental real estate.
Come on now.
Right? And so it's not that, it's just because they're different. The thought process is different. And people who are on their way to becoming wealthy harvest, you know, income producing thoughts. And people who are not harvest income reducing thoughts. And you can't have an income reducing thought and an income producing thought at the same time. So you must choose which one you're going to have. And what I noticed was when I had income reducing thoughts or hung out with those of my board of advisors, my income and my set of circumstances were always lacking. But when I flipped the script, I noticed that my income producing thought friends, number one, they talk less. Why? Because they're mostly trained to listen. They talk less, and when they spoke, they thought about what they had to say. And it was always about the future. It was always about something, you know, positive. It was always about an idea. It was always driven by an idea. When I had my board of advisors over here, it was always about people. Somebody else and what was going on and what was not going to happen. People in politics. And so all I did was this here. How did my life change? Here's how it changed, and I'll get into this stuff here. I just want to share with you, you know, so that you'll see an example in me that you can have for yourself. That's my only purpose here. I came to a meeting just like this. I was invited just like you. And I didn't want to come. I was broke, and the guy asked me, hey man, you ever look for ways to make money? And I'm like, yeah, I do. But just like, I'm talking about me the whole time. I didn't want to do anything to make the money. Just like right now, in about 30 days from now, all of y'all, some of y'all, will write down these New Year's resolutions. Same ones you've been writing down for the last 25 years. Why? So that you can have goals. Your goal is to have a goal. That means you succeed every year. Your goal is not to achieve it. Your goal is to have it. And so you have it. And so this is why we set it every year. I'm gonna make more money this year. I'm gonna stop smoking this year. You know, I'm gonna become a vegan this year. Right? How many been on that 2-day vegan plan? I tried it too. I wasn't that extreme. Anyway, and so I came to a meeting like this, right? So I come to this meeting, and I sit right there in the front row, right there with Mr. Burns sitting. I was the second seat right there, but it was actually on this side of me, second seat. So I get there, and I'll never forget, it was my college roommate invited me to this meeting, and I wanted to make some money because I was broke. Okay, I was just broke, didn't have any money. And that was my first time in network marketing with my college roommate. The second time I come to this meeting and I sit there in the front row second seat. I got there and I never forget, I came with all of these thoughts about what this meeting was going to be about, just kind of like you know, and some of you, what are they going to talk about, what the scam is right now today, and is it really I already know what you guys, that's why I say I don't sell the business. Because we always come with the skeptical mindset when it comes to opportunity. Okay? When it comes to opportunity, skeptical mindset. When it comes to entertainment, we're open-minded. And so we're open to any type of entertainment, skeptical about business. Okay? It's just the nature. You're not bad because of that. It's just how we've been programmed. So here's what happened. I'm sitting there. Now remember, I'm the college guy. I had a lot of credits. Still got a lot of credits. Anybody need some college credit? I can tell y'all something. I didn't use it. Okay, I didn't cash mine. I don't have my diploma. And don't tell my mama that. My mama still, she think I went back. Okay. Anyway, So here's what happened. I get to the meeting, I sit down just like you, Mr. Burns, and they're about to introduce this guy. He's actually from South Carolina. He was living in Austin, Texas at the time. And they said this guy, he, before they introduced him, kind of like Daniel introduced me, they say he's 32 years old. He retired when he was 24. Bingo! I immediately said, this is a lie, this is a scam. Why? Because my chairman of the board, she's already told me that the retirement age in America is what? 65. So how can he retire at 24? They lying. They're already lying. So I started off negative already. He retired at 24. They say he's a multi-millionaire. Then I heard him speak. He was from South Carolina, living in Austin, okay, with a speech impediment. He had a high school education, didn't graduate from high school, speech impediment. You know, he spit when he talked, and talked real fast. When you mix all those things together, nothing says multi-millionaire. So when he gets up in front of the room and I heard him talk, you know, I was like, no, this not adding up. This don't make sense here. And here's where I don't want to say it was a mistake, but here's where my life changed. I'm sitting there because I've got some college credits and all that stuff. I'm an educated guy, right? So this guy's speaking, and I already knew I was better than him, right? In my mind, why? Because nobody in my family had education except me. So, you know, I knew I'm the top dog in my family, right? And so he starts talking about all this stuff and money. And I said, you know what, sir, hold on for a second. Man, you got to prove this to me. You know, you got to prove it to me. And I'll never forget, here's when things changed for me. He stopped and he said, sir, listen. He said, I don't have to prove anything. I said, well, you want me to get involved in this business, don't you? That's why you're presenting. He said, no. He says, you don't want the college education, right? I was like, yeah. I didn't tell him I didn't finish, though. I never told him. Yeah. He says, okay. He says, let me share with you why I don't have to prove anything to you. He said, you know, today, my income was based off of 60,000 people who contributed to it today. He said, now, you went to school, right? College. I said, so you got about 16 years of school, right? I'm like, yeah. He said, so you had a lot of teachers and professors. I'm like, yeah, well educated. He said, you got a mom and your daddy and all those. He said, yeah. He said, with all those people, these people who paid a lot of money to go to school, and you paid as well, the best they can do is teach you how to make money from only one person. Yeah, you know how you scratch your head because you don't have a comeback. And I'm sitting there like, what? Oh, you know what? Yeah, because I go to work and I get paid if I go to work. And if I don't go to work, I don't get paid. He said, this man said 60,000 people contributed to his income today. So that means that if 10 people didn't go to work today, he still has 59,990 people doing something towards his income. And so I was sitting there wondering, okay, well, how do you do it? You know? And I never forget is when I decided I'm going to humble myself. And that was when I said I'm going to open my mind, because I came in so close-minded. And I said, you know what? I might as well just open my mind and listen. And that's when he said, sir, listen. He said, if you'll allow me, I will teach you how to make a six-figure income. And back then, dude, I had no idea what he was talking about. Because I didn't hang out with people who made money like that. I thought he was giving me 6 chances to figure out his income. So I didn't know what he was talking about. I just agreed. I'm like, yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, sign me up for it, right? And here's what happened. I got involved with him. And this guy who didn't have a high school diploma at all taught me some of the things that I never learned in college. And with what he taught me, I was able to, I think it was about 2 months later, I was making about 4 times per week what I was making in my full-time job. Now, I'm not saying that that's what you're going to do here. I'm saying the difference was I crossed over from this board of advisors of this reality circle over here, then I had another circle over here is what I call the dream. So I had reality and I had a dream. And you know what? The majority of people never can cross over to get to their dream circle. It's because of this thing in the middle. There's a wall called missing. A millionaire who said, listen, I'm going to give you the correct information so that you can start chasing your dreams. And that was when I got involved, like I said, 26 years old. I was making 4 times money per week. I was getting on my job. And back then I was in sales. And I'll never forget the day that I called in well. How many of y'all ever call in sick? How many of y'all practice your cough before you call in? Right? You practice that cough, right? Today, all you gotta do is call up and cough. You can just look like you want to cough, and they're gonna stay home for 14 days. If you're on a 14-day vacation, just cough, okay? That's it. All right? Or put some onions under your eyes, make your eyes red, walk into work. Hey man, no, don't worry about it. Just stay home 14 days. You can do what you need to do, right? And so I called into my boss and I said, hey, listen. When I called in, I was supposed to be at work at 8 o'clock. So I called at 8:30, right? Because I'm just, I'm free now. I'm making my own money. Yeah, I'm flexing, right? So I called in, speak to Mike. Hey Mike, how you doing? This he said, who's this? I said, this is HB. Now, right? He should have been here at 8 o'clock. And, I said, hold on for a second. Lower your tone right there. How many of y'all have your work voice? Be honest, how many of you got that work voice, right? It's that high-pitched voice, that voice you're not in charge because you use that work voice, right? So now I know I'm in charge. Hey, bro, hold on for a second, man. Who you talking to? Hold your tone, man. Don't talk to me. Don't be questioning me like that, right? I said, I was calling in well. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, I ain't coming in no more. That was 26 years ago. I haven't worked for anybody since. And I never forget, he said, listen, I know you've been doing, he called it a pyramid. I know you've been doing that little pyramid thing, right? Because people give names to things that they don't understand. They're afraid, right? So they give it a name, right? And so I know you've been doing that little pyramid thing, and I won't let you know, I know you're making a little bit of money now, but I've seen these things before, and I just want to let you know, they come and then they go. And if you really want to have some security, you need to put a 2 weeks notice in, because if you don't, I'll make sure you never work in this industry again. I said, no problem. In 2 weeks, you'll notice I still won't be here. And ladies and gentlemen, that was 26. I was 26 at that time, so that was 22 years ago. And I never ever have even thought about going backwards or working for someone again. And it's because of the proper information that I got about how to earn money. Mm-hmm. And because I thought money came based off of either, praying or hoping or being born into it, or whatever it is, or you're born in a certain neighborhood or whatever it is, you automatically have money. We used to drive down, those people have money. How many of y'all they got money, And so, and that was just our concept. And then I learned, if you offer value to people, and they want it, that value, they will get money, okay? And so here's the thing. You got to learn the value system of most people. So I'll give you an example. Many people value, I'm going to tell you about one of these companies that's very, very rich. Specifically, they make a lot of money in Georgia. It's a company called Gucci. Right? There's nothing wrong with it, right? We value it from a fashion standpoint. So what we do is we work real hard, and then we give them our money because we value those 2 G's. Or like this LV here. This little Louis Vuitton belt here, I think, $2,000 alligator belt. I valued it. So I gave them $2,000 of my money so I can have this belt years ago. Dumbest thing I did, okay? I don't buy this stuff anymore, my wife does. She buys all that stuff now, right? So we value those things, and so we get money from it. So what if I showed you tonight a way that you could offer value to people and they don't have to give you any money, but you get paid anyway?
Wow.
You ever thought about something like that? I figured out something more simple. Offer people something of value. You don't even have to sell it to them, but they can, anytime they exercise the value of it, you get paid. How many of y'all think that would be pretty cool? Raise your hands.
All right.
Okay? Became a multimillionaire at 30, and then I went on and I did very, very well and helped a lot of people make a lot of money. And then I realized that I wasn't as happy as I really wanted to be. I think 2014, 2015, I made an extreme amount of money. Well, it was extreme for me. Put it that way. It was extreme for me. Okay? It was tens of millions of dollars per year that I made. Here's what I realized.
That's extreme to know.
It's extreme to me, but you give that to, LeBron James. He's like, oh yeah, that's just my ice cream contract, So it's all relative. How many of y'all know money's relative, right? Yeah, it is. It's relative. Okay? So here's what happened. I'm making this money, and then I realized, I wasn't so happy. I really was. That's why I tell people, money don't buy happiness. How many of y'all agree? It don't buy happiness, but it will allow you to buy the type of misery that you can thoroughly enjoy. So worry about that happiness. Let me buy some of this misery, right? So here's what happened here. Okay? So I realized I wasn't so happy, and then my wife, she asked me one day, she says, you don't have your mojo. What's going on? Because I had everything that I wanted. I had all the house. At that time, we owned 6 personal homes. Okay, 6 personal homes that we owned, and we only visited 3 of them. Okay, we lived in one and visited 2 of them often. And because you start thinking, when I'm gonna buy this and I'm gonna get that, and I'm gonna get all of this stuff here, right? You just why? You've never done it before. Some of you got to get it out of your system. I had millions of dollars worth of cars, all of that stuff. Now, one of the things that I did that was right is I never got into debt. I always paid cash, all my houses and all my cars, I paid cash. So I never had to finance anything. So I always had good money strategies. But I wasn't happy. And I was working with some people at that time that I just didn't gel so well with them. And it caused me not to be so happy. So my wife told me, she says, what's the deal? She says, what is it that you want? I say, well, I just want to get my mojo, but I just want to be happy. And I was semi-depressed. And she said, stop being selfish. I said, what do you mean? She said, why don't you go give to other people what you want the most? And stop focusing on you and focus on them. And so here's what I did, ladies and gentlemen. Here's when my life changed again. I went out and I made sure from that day on, I do it every day. Every single day now, I make sure that I make somebody else's day feel much better than it would have been had I not been there. Sometimes it's a compliment. Sometimes, I may go to Waffle House and just leave a $100 tip, and I'm already in my car before she realizes it. I've only ordered a waffle. That's it. Okay, it's something simple, and I never stay for the gratification of it. I never stay for them to say thank you. My sky kept grab my little bags, and I'll leave them a $200 tip. I would go to restaurants every now and then, and where I frequented pretty often, and I tell the manager, who I'm real good friends, hey, help me be happy today. He says, how can I help you be happy today, Mr. Bell? So let's put everybody's tab on my credit card. Don't let anybody notice me. And here's what I noticed, okay? Well, the more I start making, the bigger things I was able to do. You know what I'm saying? And so it's not about the amount. It was just, I was giving, I felt that I was making a difference. I was contributing. I was giving a part of me, and somebody else felt better because of me. And so it didn't matter how big it was. I think one of the simplest things that I did before, and I've done things, like huge before, that people still don't know it's me. But one of the simplest things that I did, I'll never forget, I had a waitress, and she was pregnant. She was from India. She used to go to my she was a waitress at my restaurant, and she was on her, having her 5th kid, and her husband had just lost his job. I didn't know none of this at all. Her husband had just lost his job. It was Christmas time, and I felt real good that day. And I gave her a tip that she never, ever, ever experienced before, okay? And I never forget, I saw her maybe a month later, and she said, you have no idea, but what it meant for, because it was a little bit for me, but it saved everything for them. And so when you start feeling that way, you start getting happy. You start feeling, you start feeling productive. And I was practicing a principle at that time. I didn't even know the name of it, but it was boomerang.
Wow.
I was giving something of value to somebody, All right? And what happens when you throw a boomerang out? It comes back to you, right? That's what happens. It comes back to you. And so what I'm going to talk to you about right now, and it only takes me a little bit of time to go through this, I'm going to show you how to boomerang. Okay? Hence the name of our company. That's why I named the company ibuumerang. The I is me. So I want you to say it with me, ibuumerang.
Ibuumerang.
Okay? And so every day, that's what I do. I make sure every single day that I boomerang. That I do something where somebody says, I'm so glad I met him. Or I'm so glad this happened with me. And it's because of something that I did. I want you to imagine, what if all of us in this room adopted that philosophy? Not the company. Adopted that philosophy that every single day there was somebody that you were going to do something for extraordinary, and it doesn't have to cost you anything, and then they start picking that up, and then they start picking that up. Can you imagine what would happen? I can tell you what happened. The life, the fulfillment that you start to have is immeasurable. You can't even begin to understand how it makes you feel. And that was when I started to understand that money did not make me happy. But gratification and that satisfaction of making a difference keeps a smile on my face every single day. That's why people ask me all the time, HB, why every time I ask you how you doing, it's always fantastic? Because I boomerang today. I did something today and somebody smiled and somebody's life is better. So if y'all ready to boomerang, say boomerang.
Boomerang.
All right, so let's go through this here real quick. I'm going to show you a couple of things here. All right, I got to give you a disclaimer. First disclaimer is this. I want to talk about money today. Y'all okay with me talking about money?
Yes, sir.
Raise your hands if you're not okay with me talking about money. Okay? The only difference that we're going to do, I used to talk about money in my house all the time. We only talked about a lack of it. Today I'm going to talk about the abundance of it. You guys okay with that? Yes. I'm going to talk about the abundance of it. Now, just because I talk about money doesn't mean that it's yours. Or that's going to come to you. Your income that you can make from this company that I designed is based on your ability to go out and perform and do what the plan says to do. It's very simple, but there is work that's involved. This is not one of those hope opportunities or one of those opportunities you get involved in and don't do anything and you make money. It don't work that way. Okay, I've never believed in that. I believe that if you want to make some money, you're going to have to go do something. You'll do something a little bit different. You probably have to learn something different than what you already know. Why? Your reality is based off of your board of advisors. It's got you where you are. So my goal is, hopefully, you will adopt one of our leaders that we have up here, or myself, or many of the other leaders we have, and maybe we can actually fit on your board of advisors. I can tell you what has happened when I became on the board of advisors, or people selected me kind of as their chairman. Right now, well over 50 people who've earned $1 million that I've been able to coach earn over $1 million a year. Okay? And so that's a part of my resume because people think I didn't do it for them. I didn't do the work for them. They did the work, but they actually changed why I just gave them the new information. Now, the world is changing. How many of y'all realize that today, right? We walk around today and it's, I was talking about my son and his buddy, and he said, Dad, it's hard to date now. I said, what do you mean? I don't know what she looked like. And I can't talk to her because she's going to be afraid to take her. I'm like, what are you talking about? He says, things have changed. I'm like, you know what? You're right. Things have changed, Things have changed. And now what happens is this. We all have this shift of doing things a little bit different. And the things that were abnormal become very normal. And you will change, and if you don't change, it will run you over. Okay? But change normally forces you. Here's the thing I want to share with you. I would recommend, through my experience, that you embrace change long before you have to.
That's good.
Okay? Change because you want to, not because you have to. Right? And so all of us are willing and all of us are able to change. There was a period of time that all of you said, oh, I will never put my credit card on the internet. Never. Okay? Now, all you do is put your credit card on the internet. That's all you do, right? So the world is changing. Here's a couple of things that are different now. Right? By 2027, 86.5 million people will work whenever and wherever they want. This is a shift from traditional jobs and independent work. Okay? That's what's happening. People are going to be able to work from wherever they want to work. This last 10 months have shown corporations that there's not a need for some of those big skyscrapers. How many of y'all realize that?
Yeah.
One of the worst businesses right now to be in, and I own a lot of real estate, one of the worst businesses to be in is commercial real estate, specifically shopping centers today. One of the worst businesses to be in. Values are dropping like crazy.
Yep.
Values are dropping like crazy. Why? Because the world has changed. And they weren't prepared for it. I've got an office over in Houston, and back in January, they were 100% occupied. Now they're about 25% occupied. 75% vacancy. That means whoever owns that building has taken a 75% drop in income. But their expenses to run and operate that building have stayed the same. Just like that, they're forced to change. They're forced to make some changes. Yesterday, when you think about it, in the job world, you remember the days that people work one job for their whole life, 40 years, like your grandparents or whatever it may be? They start on the job, they finish on the job, and when they retire, they had some money. That don't happen today. You know, people change jobs all the time. Right now, careers even change. Technology wipes out sectors of our entire economy. And so the jobs that some of us are going to school for, they don't even exist 5 years later. And you're forced to have to do something different. Today, 84% of independent workers are living their preferred lifestyle compared to just 54%. Compared to just 54% of those who work traditional jobs. That means 46% of people who work a traditional job are unhappy about what they're doing. They don't have a lifestyle the way that they want to. Whereas 84% of the people who work independently. Do you know, and I'll share something with you. Do you know that there are more happy gig workers than there are corporate professionals? Because the gig workers work when? Whenever they want, when they want, and where they want. Freedom. They got freedom to do whatever it is that they want to do. Well, they don't make that much money. Here's the thing. They did a study, and they said, what are the most important things? And they did these with all corporations. You can Google it right now if you want to. Google the top 10 most important things to corporate employees. Money doesn't come in the top 5. You can Google it yourself. There's so many studies that's been done. It doesn't even come in the top 5. Freedom is what people want. They want different things. Customers today, their expectations have changed. Customers expect, you know what they want? They want ongoing value. If you don't give them continued value, they won't buy from you anymore. So what do you have to do? You've got to learn to change yourself if you're going to offer a service to a customer. How many of you remember this little small company called Blockbuster? How many of y'all remember that, right? Remember you used to go rent movies? And you get home and that movie, whoever rented before you didn't rewind it, now you got to sit there and hit that button and they go, right? Especially if you had the cheap RCA like I had. Because the motors weren't so fast. And it takes you 45 minutes. Your popcorn and everything is all cold. Your movie, you had everything all set up. Your wine is bitter and all that stuff by the time the movie hit play. Netflix came out and said, you don't have to rewind anything. We're not even going to charge you for late fees. You know what Blockbuster said? That's cute. You know Blockbuster had the opportunity to buy Netflix. I think it was for $16 million. You know they said, oh, this is cute. This won't. Why? Because Blockbuster had a set of board of advisors that was based on the past, stuck in their ways. You know how some of our grandparents said, boy, the good old days. I don't want to hear about no good old days. Those days gone. I want to hear about the good new days. Right. What is it going to be tomorrow? Not about what it used to be. And so you've got to keep up with things because customers want ongoing value. They want unique experiences. They want it personalized for them. And if you can't compete in that marketplace, you don't have a chance. That's why Netflix became so successful. This is why Amazon dominated and knocked Walmart and Target, and those guys are now following. Why? Because Amazon say, we're going to do it for you the way you want it. How many of y'all heard recently Amazon, they have Amazon Prime Day? You know how much revenue they did on Amazon Prime Day? $6 billion in one day. Billion with the B. How many of y'all think that's pretty cool? Of course. It's nothing in comparison to what Jack Ma did on Singles Day. Alibaba have something called Singles Day. See, they want personalized singles. He does something for single mothers. $52 billion in one day.
Wow.
One day. Hundreds of millions of bras he sold in one day. Amongst, so many other things. Why? It was personalized just for them. Your expectations have changed. What do you want now? Time freedom. You want to do some work and you want a sense of ownership. How many of you right now, work in sales? Raise your hands and work in sales. Okay. What do you sell, if you don't mind me asking, sir? Office furniture. What about yourself? Barber. Okay. Who else? Yes. Real estate. Car parts. Okay. Real estate. You work for a firm. Okay. So now let me ask you a question. When you make your sale of furniture, okay, and you sell it to the customer or whatever it is, and the customer needs to come back and get it repaired, does the company pay you the commission or do they keep it? They keep it, so you get paid one time. So when you cut hair, in order for you to earn money from that customer again, you got to cut it again? You got to cut it again. Real estate, when you make a sale on that house, every time they make a mortgage payment, do you get paid? You don't? So you got paid one time. Okay. And back here, what was the other one over here? Car parts. So when you sell that car part and they need to have it repaired, you get paid a commission when you sell the part, and once they get it repaired, you get commission? One time. So why is it that the company get paid every time the transaction takes place? You created the transaction, but they pay you one time. You know why? Because we've accepted that as being normal. Because everybody else does it.
Right.
Come on now.
Why? Your board of advisors says, that's a good job. You got benefits. See, when I was broke, I used to use words like overtime. Benefits, paid days off. How many of y'all have friends? I'm just telling you how it was. The vocabulary of the rich is different from the vocabulary of the broke. They use different words. When I was broke, I didn't talk about value. I used to tell my buddies, man, listen, I can get you on at my job. We don't even do that much work. I can get you on. I can hook you up. How many of y'all know what I'm talking about, right? And so now, value is more important. People want residual income. I'm going to show you how to have a sense of ownership. So when I looked at that, I'm like, okay, hold on. I'm going to do the work. They're going to get paid forever. I get paid one time. How can I get on your side over there? I just want to get on your side. Okay? And so I want to talk about that. And then also people want to give back. Charities right now are receiving more money than ever before. People still want to have a sense of giving back. When you look at the old world of working, everything was about what you sell. Sell, 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 sell. 10 to 12-hour work days. Earn from only one stream of income. How many of you have ever heard if you want to get rich, have multiple streams of income?
Yep.
Most people don't understand what that means. They think you got to do multiple different things. The new way of multiple stream income is having multiple streams in one business.
That's it.
Amazon said, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to start offering just books, and I'll offer all of these different products on one website. So now I've got this stream, this stream, this stream. I've got furniture. I've got car parts. I've got clothing. So I can get involved in all of those different businesses. Why? Because I realize people want the value of those things. We'll offer them. So the new world is this: success without selling. I'm going to show you success without selling. You give value for something to a customer absolutely for free. Now, I used to completely be against free. You know why? Because people didn't value free.
You right.
People were afraid of free. What's the catch? You want to give me something for free? What's the catch? Okay? But I'm going to share something with you of how we do this. Technology that works for you 24/7. Get paid when your customers save money. When they save money. Access 192 countries immediately. Immediately. See, right now, you couldn't go sell real estate in Texas, could you? As a realtor, because you have to have your license. Okay? Right. As an investor, you could. You can buy it and sell it. But as a realtor, you know. And so the same thing in office furniture, unless you're doing it online, you're probably not selling office furniture over in Dubai, are you? Limited to your location. It's hard to cut hair at 2 different shops at one time. You can own 2 shops, but it's hard to, So what I'm talking about is being able to access 192 countries. Do you know the first day that we started this company, we were in 72 countries after 24 hours?
We're going to try.
Unlimited access. Now we're in 192 countries.
You are the best.
Streams of income through one business. That's what we call the ibuumerang way. Yesterday you got paid when you sold things. Today I'm going to show you how you get paid when they save money. Real simple. Now, how do we do this? Starts with leadership. Yeah. Normally I don't do these presentations, and that's why I normally don't talk about that guy over there. Okay? So here's my story. I started in this industry in 1990. I was making less than $500 a month for my first 7 years. That means I got a lot of education, didn't have any money. And the $500, I only made it 3 separate times. 3 separate months, I got up to $500. But I learned from some people somewhere a little bit around 19, or between here and there, was when I met that guy from South Carolina. Okay? And he taught me, and what he taught me and what I learned as well, I used to develop a formula and a system to achieve some success. I gave you my story of my timeline of when I was able to make money and retire and stuff like that. Here's what happened. Around 2009, actually 2008, I started a small little coffee business. I didn't start it, but I became a distributor in this small little coffee company. Had small little sachets of coffee, about 50 cents a piece. And I sold $3 billion worth through distribution. Why? Raise your hands if you wake up in the morning and you can't even get your day going if you don't have coffee. That means that you value coffee. I knew people had value for that beverage. All I had to do was find a way to get them to try mine. And once you try mine like 5 times, you're hooked. You get 5 samples of mine, you're done. You just want that coffee. So that's what happened. And I was able to coach just during that period 45 people at that time to make over $1 million. Wow. It's pretty cool stuff, right? Wow. I tell you this stuff just so that you'll understand that I qualify to share with you what I'm talking about here. What I did is I actually assembled a team. And our team created a concept to make the future of how you do business much easier than what it was before. Why? I had 28 years of doing network marketing. So what I did is I looked at all the things that worked and all the things people hated. You know the thing people hated the most? Having to be forced to sell some stuff. Being forced to stand up in front of a room like this and say, "Hi everybody, my name is." People don't like doing that. So I said, I'm going to create a company where it's not necessary. If you want to do it, it can accelerate your growth and you can actually grow faster. But if you don't want to do it, you still can have what we call success without selling. How many of y'all like that?
Yep.
Okay. Now, what do we do? How do we do it? I did it through a concept called the PRIV. Everybody say PRIV.
PRIV.
Here's what I want you to remember. This is going to be the most important thing that I'm going to talk about tonight. The PRIV. And the PRIV stands for Perpetual Residual Income Builder. For the sake of this meeting, let's call it Permanent Retirement Income Builder. Raise your hands if you're in here and you would like to cut your retirement date in half. How many of you hadn't even thought about your retirement date? You used to say, I'm just going to work till I drop. Man, these wages I got here, my plan is shot, right? But what if you can cut it in half? Let me ask you a question. How many of you in here, and I normally don't even ask this, and I didn't ask this last night. How many of you, and you can raise your hands if you want, you don't have to raise your hands if you don't want to. How many of you, based on the retirement plan that you currently have, your job, that when you stop working, they're going to pay you $6,000 a month?
Every month?
Every month. You don't have that plan? None of y'all have that plan, right?
No.
That's fine. No, most people don't have that plan. So let me ask you a question. Okay? Somebody told you, like my mama told me, retirement age is 65. Is that correct? Is that what it is in Georgia? 60, is it 65 in Georgia? 67? Somebody say 67. Do you know there's no such thing as a retirement age? There isn't. There's no legal retirement age. 65 or 67 is the age that you must achieve to collect Social Security benefits.
That's what it is.
¿Quién es?
That averages about
¿Quiénes colectan
between
el
$700 and $800 a month.
Lo que se
Raise your
retira.
hands if you can retire on $800 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you think 65 is your retirement age? Because your board of advisors gave you that vocabulary. They taught you that. I'm going to show you something today, since we have a board. At the end of our presentation, I'm going to show you, what if I showed you, this is a what if, because I can't guarantee it, because, Tawana got me on camera. She's all up my grill. Right? What if I showed you, okay, a way to have $6,000 monthly residual income in 12 months? Oh, so y'all ain't got no feedback on that? Oh, it's just like, oh man, I do that all the time.
What is it?
I'm just, what if?
Yeah.
Would anybody want to know, first of all? Well, show your hand, take your mask off, and do something.
¿Todo bien?
All right. I'm going to show you something. Now, remember what I told? How many of y'all actually would love to have that type of retirement? Now, remember, everybody want it. Everybody not willing
¿Qué le dio?
to do to get it. But what I'm going to show you is simple. I'm going to show it to you, and there's no trickery with it. I'm going to show you something real simple, okay? And I'll do that at the end. So let me hurry up and get through this crib stuff. Now, so this is the crib. Now, what do we do with this crib? This is how cool this crib is. The crib, it goes to work for you. What it does is it actually takes your customers and it will follow up with your customers. It will do the selling for you. It does the upselling. It does the cross-selling for you. So all the things that you normally have to do, how many of you have ever been like in a cosmetic company before? That you sold cosmetics or Tupperware or something like that?
No.
And those are great companies, by the way.
No,
Nothing at all
estaba
wrong with
después.
it. But when new products came out, you always have to call them up and say, girl, guess what? We got a new color. I'm going to stop by and I'm going to show you a couple shades, okay, right? So you had to do that. That's old. That's the old way of doing things, okay? How many people think Amazon sends a representative to somebody's house to show them the new colors? Amazon sells a lot of lipstick. New technology, they understand how to do it. We are incorporating all of that technology, and much of it we already have, on how to get those things done. So here's what we do. We're going to take all of your customers, and we're going to enter them into our crib. So this is basically an electronic, or what I call a cloud environment, so to speak, okay? And what's going to happen is this. The crib is now going to go to work on them. I'm going to show you how that works. Now, what will we do with you if you decide to build a team? We'll actually do welcome orientations for you. Why? Because you don't know how to do them. And you're inconsistent. Right? Like I am. I'm very inconsistent at some of that little tedious stuff. So what if I had a system to do it for me? Training, we'll do that. Upgrades, events, retention promotions. We'll do all of that for you. Now remember, the only thing we won't do for you is we can't go get the people for you. You have to identify people who are looking for a certain value, right? You're looking for people who can appreciate value of X, Y, Z, and then you give them the value, and then when they use that value, you get paid for them having the benefit of the value. No other company has ever done it the way we're doing it here. Now, watch what happens here. What we've done in the crib so far is that we get the customers in the crib. Once we get the customers in the crib, we are introducing them to other different technologies and other different services, and we'll do that on your behalf. People ask us, they say, well, does this really work? Does the crib work? And do you have any customers in there? Well, let's talk about it. Over 1 million customers that we Over 1 million in 18 months. Okay, over 1 million customers in 18 months that's in that crib, okay? Now, that's how we do this here. The first way that we get people to get into the crib, your customers, whereas you don't have to sell them anything, is that we offer them a free travel platform that they have for a life. It's a lifetime membership that we give them. Free lifetime membership. How many people right now, the most important thing you can't wait to do with all this COVID stuff, rest stuff, is go travel somewhere? Raise your hands. Matter of fact, I can prove it to you that you're not the only one. Go try to book a cruise or a resort for 2021. See if you can find a location or a room on a cruise. All the good rooms are already gone. Sold out. Go take a look at the stocks now of all the travel companies and cruise companies as opposed to 6 months ago. Through the roof.
Yes, sir.
Why? Because do you think Wall Street is a little bit smarter than your brother-in-law? So your brother-in-law going to say, girl, ain't nobody traveling. Wall Street says, get ready, the world is about to travel. Did you see what they did today? They just released authorization for the Boeing 737 to start flying again. Why? They have to get equipped to have as much equipment out there as possible because people are going to start hitting the skies again. They're going to start hitting the skies again. Now, and people are still doing it now, but I'm talking about in mass numbers. In mass numbers. The other thing was this here. How many of you were interested in building a business only for the benefit of a year or two? I built a business based off of something that can last me forever. And people are going to travel forever. Okay? They're going to travel forever. And there is no replacement for travel. These virtual Zooms and virtual vacations. Fellas, you keep telling your wife, let's do these virtual vacations. She's going to say, let's have a virtual marriage then, right? Take me somewhere.
Amen.
Okay? My wife, but she's been sending me flyers on, listen, get me out of here, man. We got to go somewhere, right? So we give them an exclusive access to the lowest price possible that they can get anywhere on the internet. Why? Because we give them behind the curtain pricing. Huge savings for them. And basically they do it right from their mobile phone. They have their own travel website that they have. It costs them nothing. And here's my promise to you. I will never, ever, ever charge them not 1 penny to have access to that site. Ever. Why? This is why. Because it's the way that we offer the most value and customers benefit all over the world, and we add other things in that crib that they want to spend money. But here's the cool thing. We don't charge them for the website, but when they do travel, if and when, and it's not an if but when, they book their travel and they save money, we pay you. Check this out. Do you know that when they book travel, if I own the company, if I can't offer them a savings, do you know that they got over on me? I make no money. The only time I can make money is if they save money.
That's right.
If they save $1, 50 cents I'm going to pay to you. For every dollar that they save. So do you think I have an incentive to offer the best prices? I want the cheap, I don't want the hot, because we don't make money on selling travel. We make money on people who are going to travel anyway and saving them money on their travel. And that's how you get paid, okay? So this is a pretty cool way to introduce people to the prayer. Why? Over 1 million people have already adopted it in the first year. Over 1 million people have adopted it, in the first 18 months. Now, here's an experience of how the behind the curtain pricing works. Let's take Expedia, for example. This is a real example. Expedia, you go to Expedia, take the same room. It was $339 a night on Expedia. You went to iGo, which is our platform that we have, and it's $178 per night.
Wow, that's good.
How many of y'all think that's a pretty good savings?
Oh yeah.
So when you look at that, that's about $100 and something dollars in savings. Okay? Over here, they put mine up there. This is actually a booking that I made right here. Okay?
You mean points?
So I went over. I was in Mexico and I went to Cabo. Okay, the Paradisus Resort. And when I booked this, my hotel reservation was $1,589. Okay, and no, this is the wrong price here. The savings was $1,589, but my cost was actually $1,348. I knew that was wrong. $1,348 because I had 70% off.
Wow, yeah.
Okay, so I saved $1,589 in that example. How many of y'all think that's pretty cool?
That's very cool.
Okay, $1,589.
That's overhead.
And they upgraded me to a suite. Okay, when I got there, I didn't. That's not mandatory, but they did. They upgraded me to a suite. Now, here's how those travel savings work. Watch this here. So there's two different components with our travel that you have access to. You can actually get a free site here. If you look at this and say, I don't want anything to do with this business. I'm not interested in making no money. My retirement is already set. I don't want to be offering people free stuff. I don't want to be making all this money. I don't want to increase my tax bracket. That's not what I'm interested in. We'll give you a free site. No strings attached, right? Or you can say, hey, I want to be involved. When you get involved, you give you deeper discounts. You get the full price. You get the same price that I get, okay, on your travel. That's how I save so much money. So in this example here, let's say you have an ambassador who books. In this example here, that the public price was $1,046. Using our site is $621. But if you gave that to a customer for free, here's what happens. They go book the same vacation place that you're booking. In this example, public price $1,046. They pay $834, which means they save $212. You save $424. So your savings is double theirs. So because your savings is double and they don't have that, I can pay you commissions out of it.
That's right.
So people say, where's the money come from? Because we don't give them we give them like a free membership price, and then we get another deeper discount. So when your customers look, they jump up and down. They're like, I saved $212, and they can't find another price lower than that anywhere on the internet. So we're already doing them. How many of y'all think we're doing them a great service? Yeah. But when they do that, imagine they went and booked us to Cancun. They saved $212. Here's how simple it was. Your customer activates. The full price was $1,046. They saved $212. I send you a check for $106. But hold on. But wait. There's more. Here's where there's more. Anybody ever went to Cancun for one day? No. This is per night. Okay? So if it's per night for that price or whatever it is, I'm sorry, not per night, but what if you had one or multiple people you went with? So let's say this is a 5-day stay, but you went with 4 other people, and you had them book their room. So you get 106 times 5. Your room plus the other 4 people. Okay? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So this is how that travel, this is why people want this service here for free, and they can't even believe that it's free. They always say, man, this is awesome. Let me share with you another industry here. These are things that we have in the crib. So check this out here. Introducing a concept that we call drive share. We don't call it ride share. We call it drive share. Why? Because I was so fascinated by the concept of Uber and Lyft that I started my own drive share company.
Okay.
And we call it vibe rides. Here's how simple it is. It works the same way that you already do Lyft and Uber. And sometimes it's the same drivers. It's just your app. Somebody downloads the app and they say, you know what, I want to drive for Vibe. Why do they want to drive for Vibe? Here's why. We pay them more. And they can actually recruit other drivers. And every time that other driver drives, they get paid. And you get paid. So, sir, it's the same thing. You do the work one time, the people perform multiple times, you're getting paid every time. I want you to imagine, okay? I'm sure you've coached some barbers in your time, right? You coached some. So imagine you coached the barber, you told him how to get that line up straight, right? And every time he lines somebody up, you make 50 cents. Wouldn't that be pretty cool? Right? See, you enroll somebody here, and you give them the app. They can go right to the Apple Store. You can download the app right now. It's on the Vibe Ride. You can download the driver app or the rider app, and here's what happens. As soon as they download it, they become your customer for life. That means they can be anywhere in the world where Vibe Ride is, and anytime they hop into one of those cars, you get paid.
Wow.
Hello. So you earn by referring drivers and by referring riders.
So do they get paid the same like Uber?
We're gonna pay them 70%, or I'm sorry, up to 75% of the fare. The only difference, here's the big difference.
No.
The big difference that we have with Vibe Rides is this right here. Is that what we've created, our whole model is called Choose Your Vibe.
Okay.
So what I did is I looked at what I didn't like about rideshare.
Okay.
And what would I change? I'm like, it's my company, so I can do it the way I want to do it.
Okay.
So what I did is I said, I got tired of getting in. Every time I got into an Uber, every time I got in there, they look back at me, and here's what they say. And they'll just turn on hip hop. Thinking, automatically assuming that's what I want. Right. Or I get in there and they're listening to some elevator music that I couldn't stand. So on your Vibe app, you can set your music genre preference on your app. And when the car pulls up, that's what is already tuned into. You don't have to have any conversation with it. You can set it whereas you say, hey, listen, I like my temperature 72 degrees. How many of y'all ever jumped in an Uber and it was summertime and they try to save on gas and they roll the door? I'm like, bro, what you doing, man? What you doing, man? It's African hot out here, man. So you can put 72 degrees. When they pull up and pick you up, it's at 72 degrees.
Muy frío,
Okay?
muy helado.
Here's the other thing we did. I looked at it, I have a wife. And my wife uses it sometime, and I start hearing all the problems that women were having in terms of being concerned about their safety. So I put a feature in there called Girl Power. So let's say it's late at night and the lady is coming home from work or whatever it is. Maybe she works a late shift at the hospital and she's taking an Uber and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. She hits Girl Power and only the female picks her up. Okay? And so what we're doing is we're listening to you. Remember I said customers want things personalized? So whatever it is that you want as a customer, those are the things that we're putting into this app. But here's the coolest part. Guess what's the next city we're launching?
Georgia.
Guess who's already been approved for Hartsville Airport? In all actuality, I'll tell you guys the truth. Part of my tour was going to be about, for Atlanta, was going to be, when I came, it was going to be launching Atlanta. But we know that we've had a little spike in that COVID stuff, so we said, no, we'll wait, because I want to do it right when the city has the highest level of confidence. But we're already approved, everything is already done, we don't have to do anything else.
Cuando baje un poquito el COVID.
Phoenix, Arizona, but here first, okay?
Yes.
So that's awesome. So this is a whole industry by itself. And imagine what it would cost you to start your own rideshare company. I know. I know. We'll take questions at the end, sir, because I can't get to everybody. Okay. Now, next one here.
Eso no sabe.
Okay. go through these products and then we're done. We launched a technology called Zets. Okay? This technology is revolutionary. It's revolutionary wearable technology. It basically is your own movement.
Jackie, before you,
Here's what I learned. I did some research.
Before
and
you
I
give it
found
to everyone
out
else,
that out of
leave two
all
over
of our
here.
senses, we can create new realities through our sense of smell,
Let me put it
more
in.
prevalent than any of our other senses. How many of you can smell something and have a memory about high school?
Yes.
You can smell something and have a memory of when you were in the 3rd grade.
Yes.
Right? And so your sense of smell is so powerful. It can take you to places and have you dream of places and have you revisit places that you hadn't been in years just by recreating that with that powerful sense. And that powerful sense that you have. And so we created this technology. We didn't create it. I saw the company and I acquired the worldwide exclusive rights. You can only get this technology through ibuumerang, and nobody else will ever sell this technology, this product here. And we created something called Zets here. The first 3 aromas or moods that we created was what we call purified, which is more of a focus. It also helps you with motion sickness or anxiety and what is it called? Nausea or whatever it may be. The second one is what we call energize. And this one right here is eucalyptus and peppermint. If you got like congestion or whatever it is, man, you pop it in immediately, you feel it like immediately. You don't have to wait 30 minutes. Within your first 1 second, you notice. And this, how many of you know people who have problems sleeping? Okay? We've got one here. This one here is called Relax Lavender. And I promise you, you pop it in, you can't even see it, and people are sleeping like babies. Here's what happened. We launched this in September. Anybody received their product yet? Raise your hands if you have. Okay, so many of you are receiving your product here. Listen, we sold so much of this, our manufacturers they couldn't even believe it. They couldn't even believe it. How many of you are guests here today? Raise your hands if you're guests here today. Okay? Now, how many of you, for the next 15 minutes that we're going to be in here, would like to try Zets? Raise your hands if you would. Well, guess what? I got you hooked up. I brought some samples here. Bag inside here. Okay, I'm going to keep this one up here because I got some special stuff for Jackie and Thomas
And Luis and Fernanda.
But I got some samples here. And so if you're a guest right now, raise your hand.
The yellow good.
Lying already. I see somebody back there with an ibuumerang shirt on.
Cuando digas, te vienes por acá.
Just give them one each. Yeah, give them one each. Yeah. Just now, only if you're gonna try it now. If you're not gonna try it now, don't take it. I want you to experience this like right now. All you do is open it, put it right there on your septum. Watch what you feel. Just watch. And here's the thing. How many of y'all know that there's a such thing called mask breath? My nurses and people who wear masks all day long, see, you can't even see it. You don't even know it's on. Where's your phone? Put your phone, you got it in? Put your camera on.
I have the camera.
Can't even see it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, right there, like this.
Just put it in, try it out. It's gonna last you a minimum, or it'll last you up to 12 hours. Some people get much longer than that.
What do you think?
You tried it over there? You about to try it? What you think about that? Read the back and see what's going on. You got mine for this one? Yeah. It's still going to be working all day. Just keep it in. I sleep it.
They loving it. How you feeling, my friend?
I feel good.
You put it on? You put it on? Ah, feel it. Feels good? Is this your first time?
Now check this out, okay? I want y'all to check this out here for a second. Here's how cool this technology is, okay?
¿Cómo se siente?
You're not going to be able to get this the way we deliver this anywhere else.
Qué gusto verlo. Oh, perdón.
The reason I brought these for my top leaders to try, because I opened my mouth and told them about what we're working on.
Yes, yes.
Here's the thing here. We just developed a new one. We haven't even been able to deliver all of the first ones. We're developing 2 new moves already. One, we haven't put a name on it yet, but actually Tamara is she's like the chairman of the board of the Project 72 Board of Advisors. She kind of like took that role and became like the chairman of that board, right? She took a major leadership role and nobody asked her. She stepped up.
Don't forget about me.
You've had a chance to spell the holiday, right? Because we know about it, okay? So they created one that was, they called it holiday because it's got bergamot, it's got orange, it's got frankincense, and what else? There's some other stuff they got in there. They created it. Shirley's on there.
going to get it?
Raise your hand if you're part of Project 72. Okay, Patricia's on there. Okay, wow. Man, we hit this hard over here. All right. Now, hold on for a second. Check this out.
Relax.
For all you guests in here, we just developed, I can't give you this because this is all that I have left in the world. And Jackie and these guys would kill me if I gave you this.
Yes, that's...
What we just produced is one right here. This right here? This right here? This one here, ladies and gentlemen, is a Zinc appetite suppressor. Again, hold on for a second. How many of you would like to just breathe?
Vas a perder peso respirando. Solo por respirar vas a perder peso.
I'm getting smaller already. I'm getting smaller. Listen. Now, we won't release this one until January, but these are some trials here, okay? So now, because I gotta ration these out, I gotta did you try that one? You did try that one, right? That's you got. It's a grapefruit scent here. Okay, that's for you. That's for you and J-Lo.
Me and J-Lo.
Uh-oh. Let me see here. All right, let me see. For the holiday. All right, so we're gonna divvy these. So what you're gonna do, Jackson, is I'm gonna have you take these amongst the diamonds here, and y'all just the ones that say holiday on it. That's the holiday. The ones that don't say anything, that's the weight loss.
Okay.
That's the weight loss. Okay. So make sure you just divvy them up. But here's the cool thing. Here's what's so cool. Here's what's so cool. It's in so much demand. Raise your hands if all the product that you pre-ordered is already sold. Your customer's already just waiting on it. They can't wait to get it. Okay? And it is awesome. So everybody has one in?
Pide el del weight loss. Pide el del weight loss.
Weight loss.
Care to just share what you feel right now? Just stand up if you don't mind. Stand up if you don't mind.
Este es de weight loss. Pero pide el este es de 100.
Yo quiero el de perder peso, pero es que
Do you have the appetite suppressant?
Yes, it's
Just call me.
Coge la mano.
Here's the cool thing. You can sleep in it. You don't have to take it out. You go, you shower in it, you can swim in it. I was just in Costa Rica.
Cógelo.
And I didn't know this, but one of my leaders over there, we were in the ocean, in the Pacific.
¿Dice la banda?
No, pero
¿Qué dice ahí?
dice la banda.
And we went to dinner, and still working. Okay, so you can sleep in it, wake up, watch your sleep tonight. Anybody else care to share? Yes, sir.
Sí,
yo quiero comer, no quiero que me reduzca el apetito.
sí, yo también. Dame uno para mí.
Okay, I'm just messing with you now.
¿Cuál es ese?
Which one you got now? Oh, so you got now the energize. So that is the eucalyptus peppermint. What you do with that? When I wake up in the morning, that's what I pop in. So like if I'm gonna go get a workout or whatever. But even if I don't, it puts pep in my step. So for those of you who need energy like coffee to wake up in the morning, it's your coffee replacement. Got one in there. Okay, it's your coffee replacement. Those of you who get congested, you know, by have the pollen and stuff like that, you put that in, the energize. I'm talking in seconds. Completely cleared up, and it's just sitting there. And what will happen? Here's what you will experience. Your first time putting it in, you're going to be maybe fumbling around with it your first couple minutes because it's like foreign. Afterwards, you go to sleep.
We gotta make a coffee flavor for those people who like to drink coffee in the morning.
But what we're doing right now is I've got our lab experts. Here's what we're doing. We're talking about personalized experiences.
Appetite suppressant? No.
That
Holiday?
technology is the delivery system is the technology.
Yo quiero comer hoy.
We're going to be able to deliver all types of benefits to the human body just through using that technology. And so our first function was the appetite suppressant, and it works.
Smells good too.
Absolutely, it does smell good. It gives you like a sweet grapefruit scent, but it helps curb the appetite. Okay, but that's enough about that one. You guys tried that one. I got one more. Can I show y'all one thing?
Yeah.
And then I'll show you how to make money, and we're done. Right? Here's the cool one. Y'all need to. You want to sit down for this and take some notes. Watch this here. We just marked this thing here, and I'm going to show you this. This right now is one of my top favorites. It's called Bill Genius. Now, how many of you in here pay bills and you do it with a frown? Pay you again? You know what I'm saying? Check this out. America overpays bills by $60 billion per year.
Wow.
That means that the bills that you're paying right now should be lower. You just don't know it. $60 billion every single year, and it increases, and increases, and increases. And so I created a concept called Bill Genius. You need to meet Bill. Anybody whose last name Genius, you think they know what they're talking about?
Yeah.
Here's what Bill Genius does. It's real simple. You can do it for yourself and for your customers. For yourself, here's how it works. It costs your customers nothing to meet Bill. Remember I talked about giving value for free? Remember I told you guys about retirement income? I'm going to show you how to do it with it. Just, if you never talked about Zents, if you never talked about travel, I'm going to show you how they have retirement income with this right here. I'm going to show you the numbers. Okay? I'm going to show it to you. So watch this here. This is how simple it is. You upload bills. You take your bills and you upload your bills. It takes you 3 minutes or less per bill. You just upload it onto a simple website server on a website, BillGenius.com. You upload it. When you upload your bill in there, Bill Genius is going to take your bill. You will have authorized Bill to go and negotiate on your behalf. But because Bill knows all the laws in every state and what's illegal to charge and what's not necessary, he specializes in this. He's a genius. He goes and they know who Bill is. How many of y'all know there's a major difference in going to court with a good attorney? Right. So Bill is like your bill attorney. He calls your company, and when they see the name Bill, okay, Bill, what did we overcharge? Just tell us what it is. And what Bill does is negotiate your bills down. You don't have to change companies. You don't have to spend any more money with that company, and it lowers your bills. And at that point that we lower the bills, that's when your customer pays. Whatever we lower their bill amount, they pay 50% of the savings.
Yes.
Right now, you got a mobile phone, right? So what if I was able to get your mobile phone bill lower $50 a month? So if I made a phone call, did my magic, because this is what I do for years, your bill goes down 50. You don't mind paying me $25 a month, do you? You save $25, you pay $25. Still, you got savings. Okay? Here's the thing. When you get a customer to do it, they spend 3 minutes one time. How often does your customers pay bills?
Everyone.
Say that again?
Everyone.
I can't hear y'all.
Everyone.
Every month. Do you know when you get a customer on Bill Genius, do you know I told Bill if they upload their bill, I'm authorizing you to negotiate their bills for the lifetime that they're a customer. That means every time, every month they save money, we send you a check.
Wow. Yes.
The 20th of this month, the first checks are coming.
Eso. We're gonna get a check from Bill Genius. Este mes van a pagar los cheques de Bill Genius.
Bill Genius doesn't work. Don't pay anything unless you save. Here's a couple of examples right here. Christian from Texas saved $999 on 3 bills.
Yeah.
John from New York saved $1,776 on 2 bills. Sprint and Spectrum. Over here, she had DirecTV and AT&T. Wendy from Maryland saved $1,300 on 3 bills. Sirius XM, Verizon, and then T-Mobile. Okay? Raise your hands if you're in here and you've already uploaded bills and you saved money.
Yes.
Louise, tell us what, if you don't mind, tell everybody what you saved.
$270 on my cell phone bill and $486 on my internet bill.
How long did it take you to upload it?
2 minutes.
Couple minutes. Trey,
Yeah,
tell them about what you saved.
$750 on my Spectrum cable bill, and that's for 1 year, and $480 on my Sprint cell phone.
Or anybody else? Yes. $55 a month on your Verizon bill. That was a good example I gave, right? $55 a month. Anybody else over here? Raise your hands. Yes.
$435 with Comcast bundle.
$435 on Comcast bundle right here.
Wow.
$40 on what?
My internet.
Is that per month or total? $40 per month on the internet. Yes, sir. $242 on this internet bill. Okay. Yes, in the back there now. So $50 per month? Awesome. Congratulations on that, okay? Guys, give these guys a big round of applause. It doesn't cost them anything to send the bill. When you pay, here's what happens. When you upload your bill, at the end of uploading your bill, you'll upload your credit card information, and the only time Bill Genius will charge it is if we come back and guarantee that there's savings. And anytime you pay the bill, you can do it monthly. So if it's $50 a month, that month we're going to charge $25, and you get that $50 savings. Okay, and so that's how we do with Bill Genius. It's pretty incredible. TV, internet, phone, electricity in 14 different states, security, different classifications of bills. And here's the cool thing: how many of y'all go to a church and you know somebody close to the church, like the pastor? I called my pastor the other day. I said, Pastor, let me ask you a question. I say, if I could save the church some money and they didn't have to shell anything out, I said, would it be a good time to do that? He said, are you kidding me? He said, do you know what's going on right now? I said, yeah, that's why I'm calling. I said, I have something that I believe I can help some people. And I said, what I want to do, though, I don't want to sign. What I want to do is I want to get the church to be the official person to sign them up. And then what we do is when the people in the church save that money, I'm going to pay the church 50% of what the people save. And now, you know that little playground you was talking about building? We can do it without, this is extra money that they're saving. You don't have to be begging at the end of the sermon every single day. You got to get creative. It's value that we're offering. Ladies and gentlemen, this is real simple. Let me show you something here, okay? I'll show you something here. Bring that board up here real quick. I want to go ahead and I'm going to show you something in 5 minutes, and then I got 5 minutes to show you how to get started, and then we're done. Watch this here. Bring it right over here. And bring me some markers. Watch this here. I want to show you something. Got markers over there? Some markers. Okay? Now, I only want you to look at this. Close your eyes if you're not interested in making $6 grand and makes 12 months. Okay? Close your eyes and put your mask over your face like that right now. So raise your hands if you're looking to do that type of money. I can show you that now. Here's what we do. Real simple. I want you to answer whether or not you can do this. Here's you. This is you. First of all, how many of you believe, well, if Bill Genius worked exactly the way I shared with you, how many of you believe that that's something really cool to offer somebody, knowing you don't have to sell them anything? Okay, now, if this is you, how many of you believe that in the next 12 months, and let's just say months 1 through 4, how many of you believe that not only could you get 10 customers, but you can actually get 10 people who could see this opportunity and say, I want to be a part of ibuumerang?
Yeah.
Raise your hands if you believe that's possible. Okay? So now you got 10 and 10. You got 10 ambassadors, 10 customers. Now, months 5 through 8, how many of you believe it is realistic to have those 10 people to get their 10 people, to get 10 people in the business?
Yeah.
That's another 4 months. So that means you now got 100 people that came in the next 4 months, but you also got 1,000 customers. Because all 100 have how many customers?
10.
Do you know how long it takes to get 10 Bill Genius customers? Less than 24 hours. As fast as you call them. Nobody says no. Okay? Now, months 9 through 12, do you think it's possible within 4 months, they got started 4 months ago, to show them how to get their 10?
Yeah.
So now you got 1,000 people in your group, you got 10,000 customers. Right, 10,000 customers. How much did these people pay?
Nothing.
Nothing. Zero. But here's what happened. I want you to, in this example, we're going to say that the average person saved $100 a month. What we're realizing is that when a person loads 3 bills, their savings come up to about $100 a month on the average, some more, some less. $100 a month savings, not this crazy big amount of savings, $100 a month. Out of that $100 a month, here's what happens. They pay 50. So 50 goes to Bill Genius. I got to pay Bill Genius, so I give him some money out of that 50. The company takes a percentage. I give you a personal percentage of what your customer get, and then I take the rest of it and divide it up amongst your upline. These people here. The way the math works out, I'm not going to explain the details. This will be your first 3 levels in our uni level paying 10%. The way the math works out is that you're going to be earning somewhere about $5,960 per month. But here's the thing I want to ask you. How often are these people going to pay their bill?
Every month.
So when does your check stop?
Don't. Unless they die.
It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Now, this is not including if any of these people here paid their subscription. This is not including if any of these people want to breathe and lose a little weight. Or sleep a little better. Or be focused and have some energy. This is not including if anybody wants to click a button and take a vibe ride. This is not including if anybody booked a travel and saved money on their travel. This is just on Bill Genius alone. I have to give my disclaimer as always. I can't guarantee that you join and this is what your income is going to be, because I can't guarantee you're going to do this or that.
That's right.
Remember I told you everybody wants 6,000?
Right.
Everybody don't want to do the work.
Right.
Everybody want to go to heaven. Don't nobody want to die.
Es cierto.
Right? So